This will be a 1-hour webinar to explain what is EIT, what is Supernovas, and what is the program about. We're going to also have a guest speaker, which is someone from the program that was here last year. And we will have a space for questions at the end. So with no further ado, I'm going to start. My name is Celeste Regla Diaz, and I am going to be the programs coordinator for this year in EIT Urban Mobility and in EIT Supernovas. And I am in charge of delivering this program of the Rocket Up. So first, today we're going to see, as mentioned before, what is the EIT, what is Supernovas, and what is Rocket Up. So the first block, to give you an overview of where we are situated, the EIT, which stands for the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, is a European body that was created by the European Union in 2008, and it was created to strengthen Europe's ability to innovate. And the EIT, it's part of the Horizon Europe framework, which is a framework to support research and innovation. We work as developing dynamic and long-term partnerships with leading companies, universities, and research centers, startups, and higher education institutes. And these partners are called Knowledge and Innovation Communities, or KICs, which are these 8 communities that we have in the image on the right. Each community is dedicated to find solutions to a specific global challenge, from climate change to sustainable energy to healthy living, food, mobility. Now the new one is culture and creativity. And together we have more than 2,900 partners across Europe with these different institutions that I was mentioning before. So we are actually the largest and most influential innovation community around Europe. Each one of these KICs, or knowledge and innovation communities, work in 3 different ways. We call it the focus areas. Even though that each KIC works their own ways and has their own organization, we have these 3 main pillars. The first one, which is education or talent to business. The second one, which is innovation or research to market. And the last one, which is business creation or startups to scale. In education, each KIC has its own courses and programs, like masters, PhDs, and so on. For innovation, we deliver projects for 1 year with different institutions, and we fund part of the projects. And in business creation, we support startups with funding, with acceleration programs, with pilots, and we support them in finance, like getting better finance, new customers, new markets, enhancing business skills, and so on. So this is actually where we are now, like the Rocket Up program is inside this vertical of business creation. And we are all over Europe. We have offices in case of EIT Urban Mobility, for example, we have 5 offices around Europe, but each KIC has offices in different parts of Europe. But the important thing is that we cover all countries or regions for having a most close contact to the local environments. Apart from the offices that we have in the main innovative regions, we have a scheme called Regional Innovation Scheme. That is a framework to boost performance of countries that have moderate or modest innovation. And in there, we have 1 office for each country, which are almost all the Southern and Eastern European countries. And this is a rough overview. So what is Supernovas? And to explain Supernovas, I want to start saying that we, like the situation that we have right now in the entrepreneurial and investment ecosystem, we see that from technological startups, we only have 50% of them that are founded or co-founded by women. And then it's not only difficult to create them, as we can see in the percentages, but then normally they have higher mountains to climb, to make the startup grow. We see it because we have the capital that they receive from the complete investment industry, and it's less than 5% for co-founded teams. And then if you go for those startups that are founded 100% by women, it's only 2% of the capital that goes to these startups. So this means that actually 92% of funding goes to all men teams, which is very unbalanced. And that is in the side of the startups. But if you go to the side of the investors, we see that only 60% of VC general partners are women in Europe, and 85% of investment committees are all male. Like when you go to pitch in front of an investment committee, and there is only men hearing and evaluating. So the image that comes to my mind is this. This is from a movie called On the Basis of Sex. It's about like American lawyer in the 70s. And this is like a long time ago, but I know that most of you have passed through situations where you or your woman founder, situations where you feel like this. And this is very often that happens because there are too few women, too little funding, and scarce encouragements and many barriers. So why would you think that to change this is important? Because we think that we should create a more equitable world, and because we know that diverse teams bring better performance on companies because they have more resilience and they can be more productive because they have different points of view, and ultimately also more profits. Also because when you include different perspectives from the design of the product, then you are building products that are for all at the same time. We think that role models are very important to empowering future generations because they break down gender stereotypes. So we want women in positions of power that are bringing changes to the world. And then on the side of the investors, we know that women investors are much more likely to invest in women-led startups because at the end we are drawn by people that are similar to us. And of course, there is this network advantages, like creates this virtuous circle that when you feel included, you increase your confidence in actually connecting with influential people and to sell your company. So that's why in the EIT, we have created Supernovas. It's an EIT community, which means that it touches different kicks that I was mentioning before. So it's cross EITs. And it's a project that aims to promote women in the entrepreneurial and investment ecosystem because we want to shape the available innovations in the market. And we do this together with EIT Food, EIT Manufacturing, and EIT Urban Mobility. And in two different ways. We do it through entrepreneurs and through investors. So for entrepreneurs, we have Rocket Up for internationalization of startups. And then we have another program for leadership, like more soft skills, that we do together with the EIC, which is the European Innovation Council. And then on the side of the investors, we have like an investors education initiative with 5 different training programs, depending if you are in VC, business angels, and depending of how junior or senior you are. And then also an investor network, so they connect more between each other. So going into what is Rocket Up, and then just a brief overview before we explain it more detailed. For me, I use this image because it's like when you go into a plane and you want to go to another place. It's like an analogy to teach you how to be, or your plane your pilot. Be your pilot of your plane. So it will be more like a rocket than a plane, but it's like this one was a better analogy. So you first need to get to know the plane itself and like the details, the potentials and potential weaknesses to have like a deep understanding of your product market fit, let's say. Then you choose a destination, which must be a place with a landing track, a place without a lot of wind, avoiding these territories of conflict, a place that you really want to visit, and most importantly, that you know the people are going to welcome you. Then you need to plan a strategy, like plan a route to arrive there. You have to take account like the weather, choose an altitude depending of the size of your plane, be prepared to adapt, like which are the risks, to see if you need to push the emergency button very fast or not. And then you need to land soft, adapted to the terrain and how modern the airport is, the communications there. Also, it's important that you have people that receive you so you don't arrive alone and you know how to go through the airport, which regulations you must comply, and finally, how to get locals to actually like you. And finally, you have to develop this methodology to select, plant, and land into another market in the future. So knowing this, I'm going to pass the words to Alba because we have an example of a participant in 2024. So she can share a bit her experience in the program. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here. Thank you for the invite, Celeste. And obviously, super open to answer any specific questions that any of you might have. But maybe I could start by saying why we decided to participate in the program.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Perfect. I was going to ask that, so great.
Well, basically, we founded Fabric 4 years ago. We pivoted over a year ago. And since we grew exponentially in 12 months, we were wanting to start our international expansion, but we didn't know what was the right market for us. So I met Celeste in a networking event, and I thought that what they were doing in Rocketap was super interesting and really, really helpful for anyone wanting to start their international expansion, which is why when I could apply, I was one of the first ones to apply, because I thought it would be very useful for us to gather the tools to be able to analyze the markets and decide where to start. Yeah, basically.
Thanks. No, great. And how was your experience then participating in the program?
I mean, it was great because it was a combination of like more theoretical parts, right? Where we did like seminars, and we went over what it meant to do international expansion, and what things we had to take into account. And then there was like more sessions with our different mentors. We had a more global mentor, and then a specific mentor for the market where we wanted to expand. And there we could apply everything we learned in the seminars and discuss it with our mentors, solve specific doubts that we had. We were super lucky with the mentor that we had, which was like very specific for our industry, and a top tier manager. So we learned so much from him. So the combinations of both these things, the more theoretical and the more practical part, were super useful. And we managed to define the roadmap and the execution plan of international expansion. That for us was a must. And it was really difficult because it was the first time we were doing international expansion.
Well, where would you think you would be if you didn't pass through the program?
More lost, definitely. I think it gave us a lot of clarity, and not only that, but also contacts in the sense of like we were able to network a lot, not only because of like the doors that are opened with our mentors, obviously with your institution, but also because we had the chance to gather all together in Helsinki and be able to meet each other and help each other and other people in the industries. So definitely super worth it.
And thanks. And did you went to another accelerator program before?
Yeah. So I went to an accelerator program in Spain, but it was more for market consolidation, and we didn't tackle international expansion. So we were there like 3 years ago. So it was good for us to start as first time entrepreneurs. But definitely when you reach a point where you're starting to grow a lot, I think it's very useful to be surrounded by mentors and experts that have gone through the journey and that can give you the expertise, can share the expertise with you.
And like, how valuable do you found what it was taught? Because sometimes accelerators, they are a bit repetitive, right?
Yeah. No, it wasn't the case. I think that the topics that we addressed in the sessions were very useful. It wasn't very repetitive and it wasn't too frequent in the sense of like, it was once a month. Then we also had those, I didn't mention that, super interesting expert calls where like there was like a CEO, a founder, like with obviously like many years of experience of a or a C-level manager from an established company that would come and give us a talk, and we were actually able to speak to them, which is very difficult to be able to reach those people in normal circumstances, right? And it was great because every month there would be like a more different, like a different topic that would be discussed related to the seminar that we had. So overall, it was like a super well planned 6-month program, and then obviously that combined with our mentor sessions for like more specific doubt, and I think everything that was needed was covered. And if there was things that you wanted to know more that maybe we brushed over in the sessions, then you could always go and speak to them with your mentor. So it was super complete, I think.
Okay. And how do you feel about the fact that it's like an all women founders program?
I think that's great because there's not a lot of female founders. It's very rare, difficult to, I mean, at least from my experience, to meet a lot of female founders. So it's also a way to connect and to understand each other and be able to help each other and navigating the entrepreneur ecosystem, which sadly there's not a lot of us. So I think it's also like a kind of support system. That's
Mhm.
it.
Okay. And was it worth it for you to go to Helsinki and to the event that we planned there?
Definitely it was great, and also go with you to Slash. Super amazing experience. I had never been to Slash or Helsinki, and I think it was, you know, uh, the event that you organized and all those days, a place where like all innovation would just like meet, and it was great to also meet investors through your event and meet other founders. So definitely worth it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Alba. And can you explain, just to close up, in which situation are you right now with your startup and which are your next steps?
Yeah, so we grew, as I was saying, like a lot 12 months ago when we pivoted. So we've consolidated the model. We're going to start our international expansion later this year, and we are also going to raise a Series A round this year, also to aid this international expansion. So very excited about what's next, and obviously very thankful for all the tools that you gave us through Rocket Up.
Oh, no, we are grateful for having you. Okay. Thank you so much for the time, for your time here, and enjoy. I know you are in a congress, so enjoy and see you another time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if any of you have any questions, feel free to message me on LinkedIn or whatever.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to start for the second part of the explanation, like more detailed, what is the program about? If the computer lets me, and then we will follow on with the questions. So just a sec, I share my screen. Okay. So Alba said a bit of what are we doing in the program, and I'm going to explain it more detailed. So this is a program for women-led companies, which is that they are the CEO or it is founded by a woman, because again, we want to push to have it more and accelerate the growth of women-led startups. And now I'm going to explain the main elements of the program, the structure, the overview of some of the mentors that we have, how the finance and operations work this year, how is the application and evaluation process, and which is the outcome that you can expect from the program. So the main elements are 5. The first one are the lessons. We mix insightful and inspiring group sessions with like handpicked mentors that you will see. And in the group sessions, we offer like the methodology on how you should choose your market and then plan your strategy. And we give very valuable insights and examples from real startups. Then we have a different kind of session where we invite guest speakers that Alba was also mentioning before. They are founders that are really successful or investors as well. And what they do is that they share their experience in a Q&A session with you guys that you can ask questions directly. And then we have the peer-to-peer, like this is actually embedded everywhere, but what we want to do is that we want to encourage the connection between you, because at the end we think that this people that you will meet in the program, they will be contacts in the apart from a more supportive community, let's say, it's also going to be your contacts in the future to grow your company. And we want you to make very strong connections with the cohorts. Then we assign, we assign one business expert, which is more generalistic, and he's or she is really experienced on growth strategies and how to select the best where to go and how to plan. And you have this 10 hours with this carefully selected mentor. Like we give you an intake form and we assess your company and we choose the best mentor for you, so it's not automatically. And and the idea is that you work with this business expert what you have learned during the lessons. So the lessons are like 1.5 hours of academic content and peer-to-peer learnings, and then you take what is you have learned and the tools that we give you, and you work by yourself with the support of the business expert. And then for the second part of the program, when you have selected where you go, we put you a regional advisor, which is someone from the market where you're going and in the industry that you are working in, so they can give you insights on the market, potential stakeholders, and how to localize your value proposition depending on the cultural differences and so on. So based on these 5 elements, we separate the program into 2 phases. The first one, which is choose your market, and the second one is plan your strategy. In the first one, you identify which are your success factors, as I was saying before with the plane, like really getting to know your plane. I know that you know which are like your startup, but we go like more detailed to actually measure the market attractiveness across Europe. And then you go into how to validate this market selection depending on the business cultures that we have. And you evaluate risks, and you start defining how to localize your product, because you need to somehow adapt it to a new culture or a new business, a new market in general, with your new regulations and new ways of doing business. And then the second part is the plan your strategy. And in here, you are defining how to localize again by your communications, how to change your sales strategy and your marketing, what kind of partnerships you can do there that it could be helpful for you to expand, how to do the recruiting of your talent, legal implications of expanding, the need for fundraising if it's different than normal fundraising, and then you finally define a go-to-market strategy that is actually what we present in the final demo day, the go-to-market strategy. So here I have one extra point that I added, shouldn't be there. But anyways, so in terms of the structure, we start with the lessons, and the first one that we do is on, I'm going to open it all because I'm missing Okay, perfect. So the first thing that we start is with the lessons, and we start in person. The rest of the sessions are going to be online, but this year we're going to have a kickoff in person, also a demo day in person. So everything is online except for the kickoff and the demo day. The kickoff is going to be in Rotterdam, together with an event called the Upstream Festival, where we are going to give you tickets. And this is starting the 20th of May. And then there is a lesson every month until the end, which is in Helsinki on the 18th of November. And then the guest speakers are intercepted in every lesson. So at the end, we see each other every 2 weeks. The business expert, which is assigned according to your needs, is going to be starting at the beginning of the program, and you have 10 hours until more or less the end of August. And then we assign you this other regional advisor from September on. So you work on the second part of the program. Okay, so for you to have a quick overview on how good our mentors, here is part of our pool. You have the LinkedIn link there. We will pass you this presentation later so you can look it over, but we also have it in the website. One of the most common feedback we had every year is that how incredible experience and straight to the point were the mentors, also our lessons. So we are really proud to be working with them. And we are also counting with professionals from Dutch Basecamp, and this year also ACE. Dutch Basecamp, they are the ones driving the lessons and the guest speakers as well, and the overall organization of the program. They are very experienced. They are a very experienced consultancy firm that specializes in helping startups and scale-ups grow internationally. So we are in good hands. And then also Expand with ACE is an international growth a strategy consulting company, and they have a very strong presence everywhere in the world and have a huge track record in helping businesses scale. So yes, very high level pool of mentors. Who is the program for? So we are for startups, and this means an innovative and scalable and impactful company that has a product, like a product that is innovative and scalable and impactful. It should be in a growth stage, your company. So ideally, we accept companies, like we welcome everyone to apply, but where we think it's the most valuable, the program, is when you already have a product market fit and you are ready to access a new market. It has to be woman-led, which again means founded, co-founded, or the CEO. And this year, it needs to be also in one of these three verticals, which is mobility, food, or manufacturing, because these are the KICs, the EITs that are participated in Supernovas. And as we have this huge network around Europe, so we can connect you with the relevant people in each region that you want to go, it's important that we are aligned with the EIT that is covering that specific vertical. So for mobility, for the ones that you don't know, for mobility, we have topics related to city logistics, public spaces, smart cities, micromobility, connected vehicles, energy infrastructure, air mobility, water transportation. On food, we have alternative proteins, sustainable agriculture, aquaculture, nutrition, traceability, and circular food systems. And on manufacturing, we have flexible production systems, circular economy, digital solutions, and human-machine co-working. All of this, you can find it in the guidelines for applicants in the website as well, but just for you to have a general overview. This year, for the first time, we are not being selective on which countries we accept into the program, because until now the program has been only for European countries or countries that are inside the Horizon Europe framework. But this year, for the first time, we're open to startups that are from all over the world, helping them then to enter the European market. For the Horizon Europe countries, just for you to have it in mind, this includes as well, because I will explain later on the finance that it's different when you come from outside Europe or where you come from Europe. But the Horizon Europe countries, they include Israel, Norway, Turkey, Albania, UK, Ukraine, and more. You also have the link here on the bottom right. So this leads me to the topic that the program is European funded. So the real cost of the program is of 16,000 euros per participants. However, this year in 2025, it will continue to be fully funded by the EIT for the 10 first ranked startups. So after the evaluation phase, the 10 top European or inside the Horizon Europe countries, they are participating in the program for free. This means no equity stake or no cash payment. And then we actually are open this year until 16 companies. So if any startup from the position 11th to the 16 wants to participate as well, there is a 75% funding of the program, which means a fee of 4,000 euros to cover part of it. And then for the non-European or non-Horizon Europe framework countries, the price is fully priced because it's not funded by the European Union. Apart from this, the travel costs are not included in the program. So you will need to travel both to Rotterdam for the kickoff and to Helsinki for the demo day, but the travel costs are not included. But we do include the tickets, so both for the Upstream Festival and for the Slush Conference. The next thing is that we expect a dedication of 4 hours a week. This means the participator in the lessons, the mentoring, and the personal dedication that you need to put into the exercises, which is actually something for your company, so it makes sense, and for your growth strategy. But just for you to know that this is needed for participating in the program. As I was mentioning before, the format is online, almost with everything, like all the lessons, the guest speakers, and the mentoring. Nonetheless, the kickoff and the demo day are in person and is of mandatory assistance for everyone. What should you do to apply for the program? So it's really easy. You need to go to the website supernovas.awardsplatform.com. You need to enter or register. Probably you need to register, which is really fast. And then you click on Start New Application, the program broke it up, and you fill the form. And in the form, we ask you for a pitch deck. And then there are 5 different categories that you need to fill in some information, but it won't take you more than 1 hour. And it's your product and innovation, your team, your market, your impact and sustainability, and the international capacity that you have in your company. The website looks like this when you go in, and you register or you log in. And once you are in, you have this web page, and you need to click on the bottom Start Application, and then you see this, and you start with the application name, save and next, and you start. It will ask you first about the eligibility, which is for you to confirm that you are a startup, that you are a registered company, and that you are woman-led, and that you are a mobility, manufacturing, or food tech company. And when you have confirmed this eligibility, then you will pass to the form. Okay, so the process, how does it look like? We first check which are eligible, which in theory, after this checks, it should be almost all. It should be all, but sometimes it's not the case. And then we do an online evaluation with external and internal evaluators of the EIT, and we choose the top 27 companies to pass to an online interview. And in this online interview, we select 16, where we meet half an hour. You do a pitch, we ask questions, and then we select. Also, we select the top 16. The top 27 are the ones going to make the online interview. And then the top 16s are the ones that we invite to participate in the program. What do we evaluate? It's related to the topics that we were mentioning before that are in each part of the form, but we evaluate how innovative is your company, and if you have an IP, how technological it is, if you are bringing a new product or new service, a new business model, and if how focused you are into the topics of the EIT, so we can support you better. Regarding the team, well, the background, the motivation of also being in the program and to internationalize, and the stakeholders that you have. On the market, in general, like the objectives, the market size, the USP, on the impact, the environmental and societal sustainability benefits that your company brings to the world. And on international capacity, how scalable is your product, which is the international experience that you already have within your team, how diverse is your team, the English level, potential clients that you have outside, resources like monetary resources, and which is the clarity that you already have from before going into the program. In terms of timeline, the call, as you know, is open right now, and it will finish on the deadline is the 31st of March. Then we have 2 weeks for checking the eligibility and online evaluations, and then we do the online interviews the last week of April. We say which are the selected startups on the 29th of April, and then we start 1 month later on the 20th. This is for giving you time to book the tickets and the hotel, so you can go to Rotterdam and we meet each other there. And I'm almost at the end of the presentation explaining like which is the outcome of the program. So you can be sure that after the program, you are going to go out with 5 things. You're going to know where to expand, which market or region in Europe, and why. There is like an explanation behind that you can show everyone. You will have a defined go-to-market strategy and actionable to-do list in order to access that market. You're going to meet the right stakeholders in order to do that and potential new partners there. You're going to grow your network with not only with experts and mentors that are really knowledgeable, but the last one, you're going to connect with other female-led startups, like other founders that are in the same situation as you. And that's it. So now we're going to open the floor for some questions. And if you think that you have something else, you can also write directly to me. This is my email, celeste.regla at eitmobility.eu. In general, thank you all and good luck. And so now I'm going to stop sharing.